Today, we have a very, very special guest. We're sitting down with the true legend of sound and innovation. You know him as the iconic saxophonist of Pink Floyd, Supertramp, and Toto. But today, he's redefining what it means to blend creative legacy with future technology. Live from BitBasel 2025, where he is a featured speaker, Web3 advocate, performer, and a key voice in the Family Office Forum, the one and only Scott Page is proving that artistry doesn't end, it evolves. Scott, welcome to the Millionaire Way Show.
Wow, thank you for that wonderful intro.
I really appreciate it, and it's an honor to have you, Scott. So how are you doing so far?
Well, I'm doing good. I lost my voice. I've been talking so much. It's been such a great conference. I mean, the BitBasel people do such a wonderful job. I've been here several years now. It's actually one of my favorite events throughout the whole year. I'm sorry about my voice, folks.
I'll try to make you talk
that's okay.
little.
I'm going to just talk. But yeah, no, it's been great. It's been a great hang. Met some incredible people. And I'm just really excited about what's happening in the art world. When you start building DeFi, decentralized finance and art, new ways of building liquidity. So there's some new exciting ways to handle art now that I'm very excited about that I brought here to discuss. And so it's been received well, and I think it's, I think we're on to something.
Your years as a rockstar, saxophonist, Pink Floyd, all this magic, this glamour, this craziness. When you switch to this Web3 fascinating world?
Well, it's interesting. I grew up in a musical family. My father was on a television show called The Lawrence Welk Show.
Okay.
And he was a serial entrepreneur. We had boat businesses, lighting business, candy businesses. We had 26 donut shops at one time. My dad was one of the developers, core developers of the Wah-Wah pedal, the famous pedal. So I was always around business. And my dad was doing music, so I sort of inherited the same thing. So I love business a lot, and I love what's going on in entertainment, so that's how I kind of tied them together. I've been a serial entrepreneur. I'm on my 5th company now. I was lucky enough to take one public, had a NASDAQ company, but I love what's going on right now with decentralized finance and how liquidity and the world's about to get eaten by tokens. Tokens are about to take the game over in a big way, and that's creating all kinds of new opportunities and new ways to leverage art and assets, because we can now pump liquidity into them in a way that makes the buyer and the seller have a totally different kind of relationship. And a piece of art now can generate money without worrying whether it's going to be valuable later or not, right? So there's a lot of real interesting things. But yeah, I've been I love the music business. I'm still in the music business. I just really have now tied it to being part of my Web3 evangel, out there. Because I speak at all the conferences on this. I love business, and I love the concept of tokens and where we're going right now.
BitBasel 2025.
Yeah.
Please elaborate why people should be here.
Oh, listen. The world is changing now so quickly. The most important thing people always ask me is, you got to find the influencers, the people where it's at. You need to be in the right place. The people that show up here are incredible. I mean, it's really, that's what really makes it. It's all about the relationships. As we're moving from a creative economy into the relationship economy. And it's these types of events that bring world-class people, leaders, innovators, artists together, where you can come in and start interacting and start learning. So this is really important stuff, because I think we're moving into a period where, first of all, every business is going to get tokenized. Every business, I don't care if you're a hair salon, you're a gym, you're whatever, tokens are going to become part of it. But you need to get educated.
For the people that they're not that educated, how can you explain in basics that every company is going to be tokenized? Okay.
Tokens, first of all, what is a token? It's really a contract. It's what they call a smart contract. There's non-fungible tokens, there's fungible tokens. You've heard of NFTs.
Yes.
And you've heard of real world assets.
Correct.
They're really the same thing. They use a non-fungible token contract. In other words, the contract has all the rights, the rules, the permissions, and the access to that asset. So if you're a hair salon, you can now have a special access layer. You buy this NFT, you get certain types of access. You could actually buy that NFT that starts generating revenue to help pay for your stuff. So there's all new ways to empower your customers with access, rights, and rules. So, hey, if you have that, you're the hair salon, oh, you have the rights to these products that nobody else gets rights to, or firsthand, or invited to. So there's a lot of things you can do with that. And then you can sell those, you can rent those, you can trade them. So it changes the way the economy is going to work. And it really is an opportunity where I believe we're going to see the greatest wealth transfer in history that we've ever had to the people, back to the people, because now they can interact with anything. Imagine a token saying, hey, that building, I love that building, says for sale, QR code. QR code, oh, buy a portion of that building, buy that NFT. Boom, $10,000, I now own that building. No third party.
Or like this art.
This piece of art.
$45 million.
$45 million right there, and you could do it. Now, so let me explain, and let me talk about this. So I brought a project here called My Moon EXP. I was one of the 222 projects that was put on Elon Musk, Falcon 9, the Odysseus lunar lander. It just landed on the moon on February 22nd, 2024. Right? Mm-hmm. So now I've got those are the first assets. That I have an art piece here that I'm exhibiting called the Golden Mullet.
I saw it, beautiful.
Right, so, but the important part of the mullet is its business model. And this business model will help people to understand why the tokens. Because remember, when you token things and you connect it, there's this little robot network in the background where you don't have to have a third party to do all the validation, doing the trades, because they're programmable contracts. They can have certain rights, they can have things happen every year, it can change. So there's all new ways that you can incentivize. So the Golden Mullet, here how it goes. It's up for $5 million. Got appraised between 3 and 11. I don't know how that got by, but $5 million. What I'm doing is I'm taking 2.5 million of those dollars and pegging it to that asset for 5 years. That 2.5 million then goes into our liquidity pools. I happen to be a founder of a company called YieldX.ai. We have, well, they're like mutual funds, but index pools of liquidity, of token liquidity pools, right? Very safe. You're diversifying it across 8,000 tokens, and the AI is managing. Now, what happens is that money goes in, and our pools, one of our pools, our DEX pool, and our real world asset index pool is generating anywhere from 7.2 to 8.4% a month. That's doubling every year. So now, wow. I just sold my Golden Mullet, $5 million. Mr. Buyer, I'm taking $2.5 million. I'm pegging it to this asset. Then I'm going to take that money and it's going to go in the pool. And so it's going to double every year. 2.5 becomes 5 million the first year. Second year becomes 10 million. Next year becomes 20 million. The fourth year goes 40 million. Fifth year goes 80 million. And that's not. And these pools have been run for 3 years. And this isn't like you're investing in a token because you're investing in liquidity. Because what happens is a liquidity pool needs to have. It's the market maker, it's the trade between. So many of the tokens will say, hey, my friend, if you put your Bitcoin in here and let it sit for 6 months and we can use it as liquidity, we'll pay you 10% a year, 50%, 5%, whatever the number of interest. Well, when you look at all those pools, it's not necessarily tied to the token going up or down. You got to have the liquidity to buy and sell. So your investment in this is now much more secure, and it's much more you can calculate what the numbers are based on what it is. So it changes the whole game. And these are what they call LP tokens, so they're liquid all the time. So now the buyer that just bought that now took his $5 million and he leveraged it into 70 million, and it had nothing to do with the art. Now it sounds stupid. It sounds like, how could you do that? Right? Then you imagine the $2.5 million with a Bitcoin that's pegged in this because it sits in the wallet, that goes up. If you believe the market's going to go up. So this changes the game. Now we're taking this model all the way down to, you could be a tennis shoe company, Nike, right? You have your smartphone, you go up to these tennis shoes, and you say, wow, it's got the little YieldX logo on it. Boom. Okay, when I buy it, Nike made a deal, said, I'm going to take a third of the money of $150 per issue, $50, and put it in the pool, and you're gonna get the revenue.
Are we doing that right now?
We're getting ready to. Well, we haven't done Nike, but that's the model. We're building the app now on top of our pools for that, so that people then can. And then what's cool is our pools are updating in real time, so every second you have you can go watch. You can watch your money grow. So I bought a product and now it's generating money. I just bought this $45 million. Half of that money goes into the pool and starts generating revenue. It's a different game. Now you're not worried about whether the art piece necessarily has to go up because you've pumped liquidity into the actual asset. Then you can leverage that. That's why everything getting tokenized is so important, is because now they become leverageable assets. So imagine if you put 45 billion and you had the half of that, whatever that is, 18, 20, whatever it is, working instead of just putting in the thing. Now, and don't forget, the guy that you paid me 45 million, it's still my 45 million. I'm just loaning it to the pool and saying I'm going to share that revenue with you. And the artist can say, I'll give you 50%, I'll give you 20%, I'll give you 80%. It's a great new incentive, becomes a new vehicle, and you're not promising anything. It's just you already got the art piece, you paid the 45 million. It's like a bonus. It's like the greatest reward loyalty system you could ever have.
And any risks of this model of tokenization?
Well, here's the deal. The risk in this is if the whole market tanks. I mean, not just tanks. I mean, if something goes dramatic, because we're looking at 8,000 pools, tokens. So we're not like one token. We never put more than 2.5% of our fund money in any one token. So if the market goes down, then there's some things or the pool starts to get funny. So he pulled a lot of money out, and now it's not 10 million. There's much later. The AI comes in and says, "Wait, we got a problem here. We need to rebalance." So by tying dipping, we can reduce the risk. Normal liquidity pool putting money in pools has about a 5.7% average risk, which is pretty high. 5% risk on my money that I was putting in there. But because we diversify it across 8,000 pools the way it's done, and don't put all the money in one, it runs across 800 wallets, it's like a whole different risk reward. So we've been able to reduce the risk from 5.7 down to 0.0006.
Wow.
And we can show those risk assessments. So DeFi, decentralized finance, tokenization, art, business, real estate, everything is about to change. BlackRock just came out and said it's about a 16 to 20 trillion dollar business.
When you say it's about to change, is what? In the next 2 years? 5 years?
We're launching.
It's happening right now?
My golden mullet works that way right now. We're moving in that whole direction. So everything is happening. Everybody already, I think that there's a whole real world, people are now doing real estate and cars and everything, right? Because now I have a way to tokenize it. I can create scarcity. Right, see, that's the beauty of tokenization. It makes it scarce. If I don't have this token, I don't have the access, I don't have the control. Oh, and this token says, oh, I can do this. So like in my golden mullet, the whole model is based on a DeFi decentralized thing. 7,000 assets in there. I've got 15 other artists. I've given them my Pink Floyd assets, and I said, go make something. And we'll just split it. It's in the smart contract. They go off and build something, and now they're getting 50% of what they did. I got 15 people taking the exact thing I already have, building on top of it. I don't have to talk to them. The smart contract handles the whole thing. So it's crazy. And then I even take it further. I take my golden mullet, I'm only doing 50. I print out these mullets. I cut it up into 50 pieces, and then I have people paint new pieces of art on top of the pieces that are on the moon, and then I create new NFTs, 10 new NFTs. The person that painted on it becomes a 50% owner. The same model, 50% of the money goes into the thing, and it starts generating revenue. And then I take all those assets, and then I create another one of my golden mullets with that asset. And create a set of posts. So it creates this circular economy and allows liquidity built into the whole thing, and everybody gets to win. And the artist loves it. It's the greatest. This is the greatest time in history for the independent artists. They just don't know it yet.
I see you talking. I see your enthusiasm, your strength. Back in your years of Pink Floyd, Supertramp, Toto, did you imagine that you will be in this world?
Well,
in this
Well,
Web3?
Oh, no, but here's what was so
leading the movement?
No, I had no idea. So it's interesting because I love it so much, right?
I can see.
I had three things in my life. I wanted to do music, I wanted to do business, and then I wanted to do documentary.
Okay.
Right? And that's why I've collected so much memorabilia. All the stuff that's on the moon is all my 50 years of my life, of all this stuff that I've collected. It's in that one piece of art, right? Mm-hmm. And now I can tie my business side to it and create new business models on top of it. But it's funny because I used to be out on, when we were playing out with Floyd, I figured, hey, we're going out, this tour is going to be 2 years, what am I going to do? I'm going to study business, so I decided to read business books. So the whole time on tour, I'd be reading books, Search of Excellence, blah,
no
blah,
way.
blah, all these things. And Dave Gilmour used to come over and go, Scott, what are you doing? I said, dude, Dave, when this tour is over, I'm going to go have me a business, man. I'm going to start me a business. He said, oh, okay.
So while the rest of the band were, I don't know, partying or doing other stuff, you were...
I studied. I had my partying time too, but I still made there was a lot of time to study, when you're flying and things like that. So I put a lot of time into it and really started learning the lean startup principles and all those types of things through the years and really applied it to the business, right? So again, I've had 5 companies. I took one of them public. I was lucky enough, one of my favorite claim to fames of my life is I was the co-director and producer of the world's first interactive cartoon musical that started Howie Mandel back in 1992, and we were able, that particular unit we sold 11 million units of, and we took the company public, and it was the whole thing. So I've worked a lot with technology and technologists. I work with engineers all the time. It's funny, I actually feel more comfortable with engineers than I do with musicians, to be honest. They're like my bros now. I'm like last night here at BitBasel, I had a conversation with 3 guys that are probably doing the most important work of this entire Miami BitBasel thing that nobody even knows. These 3 guys, what they're doing is so important. Yeah, it is the most important thing. And it has to do with security and management and things. But there's a really big reason, but I don't want to go into that because it's too deep. I love business. I love this whole world. And I just love combining the two. So now I get to come to the conferences. I still get to play. Mm-hmm. I get to speak. And I get to hawk my wares.
Have you fulfilled all your dreams?
My dream is only one thing: inner peace. I don't care. I truly don't care about anything else. The dreams are. Listen, I can't believe it. I'm the most thankful, grateful human being that ever. I mean, the ride I've had is it's extraordinary. And looking back now that I've gotten older, it's like, how did that happen? Like, you don't know, right? So, for me, my whole life is really, everything I do is about consciousness. Every step I take, goal is to stay as present, be as aware about everything that's happening, because that inner peace is the holy grail of anything that I hit, anything, that's it, right? So,
do you have any technique to find
peace
that you might share with all these young entrepreneurs that...
Okay, here we go. This is my favorite topic, and I'm so thankful you brought that up, because I try to bring it up in all my podcasts, because it is the most important thing.
It is.
First of all, the only thing that's real is you and me talking right now. People watching this, if you're watching this right now, the only thing that's real is you watching this. And the only thing that's real is what's going on around you. 2 minutes ago, a complete illusion. 2 minutes from now, I have no idea. The only step that matters is the one you're taking now. The presence. What time is a complete illusion? It's always now. It's now. It's still now. I can walk over there. It's now. I'll go down to the pool. It's now. It never stops. Why that's important? Because we are addicted to thinking. People are so locked into their heads. That could be sitting here suffering. Oh my God, the world is crashing underneath. I can't make my rent. I can't do my thing, and I can just go crazy. Now, it doesn't mean those things aren't things that have to be dealt with, but you don't want them to take you over and think them over and over. That's the insanity of the human condition, right? So the exercise, the game of this whole thing is getting to the point where you flip from being the thinker to the watcher, right? Where you're watching your thoughts. And so that is the first step, is getting to that point that when you see that,
be aware of those thoughts.
Right. Because here's aware of those thoughts, and you watch them, right? So here's an incredible exercise, one of them that changed my life, and it goes like this. I read in this book once, it said, as often as you can, as often as you can, stop yourself and put all your attention where you are. Where am I? I'm sitting in this room. I'm not thinking, I'm thinking. And then ask this question. What am I feeling right now? Am I feeling any anxiety, tension, or fear? Right now, if I'm feeling any anxiety, tension, or fear, I'm sitting in this chair and there's no lion chasing me, I know now I'm identified with a thought, not with reality. Every time you do that, you wake up a little bit because you're examining yourself. What am I feeling? Boom.
I love it.
Right? You do that. You keep doing it. And then what happens? One day you come down, you go, who's watching? Is there two of me? Right? Once that changes, that flip, you start to examine yourself. So everything you're doing, the decisions you're making, you're watching it. It's basically, they call it the hyper state of awareness. The issue is this. That's the game. Awareness. But the puzzle is how do I know I'm aware that I'm aware? Because your mind and your equal say, oh, I'm aware. But the minute, no, I understand, I'm aware. The minute you say you understand, you've missed it. So why this is important to everything, to business, because once I learned and took this as the most important thing in my life, everything just starts to happen. Because I don't go into meetings anymore where I was trying to hustle a deal, make it happen. I'm going to get this deal done. I go to the deal. Is this a good deal? Are we having a good time? If it is, great. Not cool, we're done, we move on, because everything happens the way it's supposed to happen, and it will happen if the deal was right. Instead of forcing things, why that's important is sometimes you'll be able to get a deal, and then you're like, be careful for what you wish for, right? You want to make sure the fit's right, all of those things, because that's where we get started. So for young entrepreneurs, that becomes a problem. They'll take things, they'll jump on shiny objects and all these things when they're not really aware enough of what they should be doing. What's the smallest thing I can do that's going to give me the biggest bang for my buck? Everything else goes away.
I love it. I love it. I really appreciate it. Last question, because I know that you have to go and we have to wrap it up. Scott, which will be the best advice that maybe you haven't received, or you hadn't received it on time, that you would like to share with our audience, young entrepreneurs, to succeed?
We're going through the most incredible, crazy time. With AI coming on, most people have no idea what's coming. Right now, the most important thing I can tell everybody out there, you need to go to school, get educated. What I mean by that, I'm not talking about going to physical school. You got YouTube, you've got Google. You need to go put in 30 to 50 hours to understand what's going on in crypto, tokenization. Because if you don't, you have to adapt or you're going to die. There's no in between anymore, because those that pick it up and use that tool set, AI is like the greatest teacher you're going to have sitting there helping you drive. It's like assistance. I have a friend of mine's got a company, and he was 10 people. Now he's 3 and he's got 5 AI. I went to his meeting with his AIs in Zoom. And I got my marketing AI, I got my other AI, and these things are all out there hustling and working. Why that's important? Listen, we know that this is going to affect the job markets and all those things, a new business model, how it's all going to go. But those that adapt right now are going to win like they've never won before, because they'll be superhuman, superpower, super thing. Trust me, I'm not really a big fan of AI, but I'm become more a fan of AI. And what I would say is, last thing that I would say, that I've come to the realization that I believe, everybody talks about AI and the doom and gloom of AI, and I was one of them. But I've come to the conclusion, or I've come to this now, that I believe AI is the one thing that will save us. And what I mean by that, a conscious AI. Not an AI that's being driven by the algorithms that are dark and stuff. We're in a war between the conscious and the unconscious, right? That's really where we are. If you're conscious, you're not going to do crazy, stupid things. You're a little more aware. When you're unconscious, you're going to follow those fun things. Morals are secondary. We're going to go do this. That person cares. So the most important thing right now is to go to school, get educated. You can do it on YouTube. If you're not a Bitcoin person or know anything about crypto, I recommend always, there's a girl by the name of Crypto Casey. Crypto Casey on YouTube. Look her up. She has, if you're brand new to this whole market, the first thing I do is look at Bitcoin for beginners with her. She's got tons of, she's the best explainer. And then you start going down the rabbit hole. What's staking? What's Solana? What's the Bitcoin? How does blockchain work? She's got all of those things. She's an incredible teacher, most clear. Go to school, get educated, do not miss this opportunity, and set your family up for life. Because this is the one moment where it's going to happen, and it's going to happen fast. This is not something that's going to take 10 years, 5 years.
It's happening right now.
No, it's happening now, but the next 24 months, the whole game is going to flip.
Well, there you have it. The one and only Scott Page on the Millionaire Way Show. It's such a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, my friend.
Appreciate
Thank you. Such an honor.